The derby on Sunday presents an opportunity for Amorim to complete his hat-trick after thwarting Pep Guardiola at Lisbon and Etihad. It also presents an opportunity for United to redeem themselves after the 1-0 loss to Forest midweek, and also to act as a build-up for the Lyon game next Thursday. So let's dive in team news, tactical analysis, and predictions. It's such a shame we created so many chances versus Forest, but we couldn't score even a single shot. So how are you going to score versus City? We'll dive into that shortly. So in terms of team news, it appears we will be without the services of Matthias de Ligt. I recall he twisted his ankle mid-game. I could not bear the replay, man. It was terrible. It seemed so painful, but I actually carried along with the game. One thing with de Ligt is he's always fighting for the badge. You could see he was in pain, but fought for the team till the end. So in such a situation that he's not available, then that means our centre-back turned striker Harry Maguire takes centre stage. Kobe Mainoo, I think, will be available for the game, but he's definitely not starting. You don't want to rush him back into the squad. I think that applies to Mason Mount and Luke Shaw as well. But Mount, I think, is fit to start, but not really sure if he can play a full 90. I think Amorim is trying to be careful returning the guys from injuries back into the fray. If it were Ten Hag, I bet Mount would have been injured again by now. I think Ten Hag was just allergic to rotations. I do not know what was wrong with that guy. Anyway, I just wish we could have Amad Diallo available for this fixture. You know I, of course, scored a screamer that bagged us all the 3 points last time at Etihad. But we have to do with what we have. Now, in terms of City, Haaland is unavailable, and that means their new signing, Omar Marmoush, will be their gunman up front. And this was their setup versus Leicester. We'll do a tactical analysis on the same shortly, but you can clearly see they lack the fire they had a while back, especially in the midfield. Rodri still unavailable. Now, City under Pep Guardiola are all about control, creativity, and attacking football. They love to dominate possession, usually setting up in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, and their whole game revolves around patiently breaking teams down with the quick, precise passing. You'll often see them building up from the back with the goalkeeper and defenders playing out calmly, waiting for the right moment to push forward. The fullbacks might stay wide to stretch the play or tuck inside to help overload the midfield. Rico Lewis, for example, sometimes moves into the midfield like an extra playmaker. Out wide, their wingers and fullbacks work in tandem, and they are constantly switching between overlapping runs and cutting inside to cause chaos. Players like Jack Grealish and Bernardo Silva are masters at keeping the ball under pressure, while Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden drift into dangerous pockets of pace, always looking to slip in passes or make late runs into the box. And then there's Erling Haaland, the ultimate weapon on the break. If teams push too high, City can switch from patient build-up to a lightning-fast counter-attack, with Haaland's pace and movement making him a nightmare for defenders. But since he's away, in this case, Marmoush will play that role. Defensively, they like to press high and win the ball back quickly. But lately, there's been a bit of a drop in intensity. Of course, opponents have found ways to exploit them on the counter, especially when their midfield, which isn't getting any younger, struggle to cover ground like they used to. Now, Guardiola will always tweak things through. Sometimes he'll have a forward drop deep to drag defenders out of position, or he will use inverted fullbacks to control the midfield. Against teams that sit deep, City will always work on the ball patiently until they find a gap, then attack it with the well-timed runs from midfield. Now the challenge now is staying ahead of the game. Teams are getting better at hitting them on the break, and with this, sometimes key players aging, City might need a few adjustments rather. Whether that's freshening up the midfield or refining their pressing game. But one thing's for sure, as long as Pep is still in charge, they'll keep playing some of the most stylish and effective football in the world. Now, let's cut to the chase. It's none of my business what changes they make between now and the June transfer window. All I care about is United humbling them. So this is the team that played versus Forest midweek, and I think Amorim will have to do some changes. Yeah. With the Delict likely to be rested, I think Maguire takes over as centre-back. Euro and Mazarawi complete the back three. Of course, Onana is the gate-man, but I think he should be rested versus Lyon game next Thursday. But there, as I record this, Lyon has just beaten Lille 2-1 in Ligue 1. PSG have already won the league title with the 6 games to go. I think that's just a proper farmers league. But anyway, so much for that. Midsection, Ugarte and Bruno. Wingbacks goes without saying. Dorgu and Dalot, respectively. Up front, Joshua Zirkzee, Mount, and Højlund. So how do we beat them? Both teams are vulnerable, quite frankly. City will try to press high, but don't really have the legs to maintain it. So we have to hit them on the break. My prediction for this game, 3-1 United.